Cool.
Time to meet a few NPCs I know and a lot I don't.
It's like, wait. Who are you?
I know Agatha. I do
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. Mr. Bluebeard, he gave me... But they know Wishpin.
Yeah, they you.
Hi, they don't know me. Oh well. How we doing, Daniel? How are you?
I'm doing okay. Tired. I've gotten too used to being able to leave in today.
Right.
But it's the vice. So. Yeah.
This is our life, the life we chose. I'm so glad. Thank you for accepting me.
Insert witty comment.
Twitter, I think, but yeah. Mm. It'll crop up. That's what I was looking at. Updates. Not yet. Cantina music 10-hour loop.
I only listen to real music.
Yeah, I'm Curl and March. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. I was like, you haven't told me, so I'm presuming you're not telling me. I'm okay with it, by the way. Absolutely fine.
Do that and then do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, am I sliding again? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Had a filter on me, apparently. Oh, I'm.
Let's play.
Let us play.
Hey, folks, and welcome to The Vice. We are here with back after a hiatus for a little while, and we've got 4 of our players with us. 2 of them, one is off in the woods camping. The other one is off in the perils of moving furniture into a new apartment. So it's just the 5 of us today, and hope you all are ready for us to start sort of back where we began, a new arc as we return back to the early days of the campaign. But first, let's go around and meet all of our players. Let's go ahead and start with Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden. I am playing the Dvaxi Wizard hidden by Axel, the excitable, now very, entering a new stage of figuring out who he is at this point. Yep. And of course, you catch me here every week now. Every week, but you know, I'm here now.
There you go. Next up, we have NNG9.
Hello, lovelies. I know you've missed me. I am NNG9, your local puntress, and I play Luna, Water Genasi monk / cleric, who's totally not gonna kill a bunch of people when we get to that point. Totally not.
Absolutely
Have
not.
some Genasi to visit. That'll be nice. And happy.
Next up, we have Good Guy Pie.
Murder's bad, MK.
Never said it was good. Said it was gonna happen.
Hello everyone, I'm Good Guy Pie. I will be playing Luck. Haven't done the voice in a while. Luck! Nope, he's gone. He's dead. Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he died 10 years ago, but...
True, yeah, kind of.
He got better.
He got better. Very nice, very nice.
Luck Gold Hard Adventure Extraordinaire all the way from Elevation Pit. There we go.
Cool, cool. And next up, we have our buddy Dragons or Cats.
Hello everyone, I am Dragons and Cats coming all the way from sunny Australia as it is 5 a.m. Let's get this D&D as I am playing the Dar Lycran, our Hexblade Warlock to Lysipia, the ex-god of the moon. And I am very, very excited to be back with these wonderful, lovely people.
Cool, cool.
Let's roll.
And I am Tall Squall. I am your DM and host today. So glad y'all could join us. We do run our campaign 100% for charity. If you would like to donate to influence the game, there's a little shopping list down below in the doobly-doo. And we are supporting Outright Action International, which is a great advocacy group for LGBTQIA plus rights around the world. In fact, have a spot in the UN where they go and try to and help out around the world. So they are a great organization. If you want to donate, that is great. If you want to just do some retweets out there, that is fine too. Or just sit back and enjoy our story today. Our party, when we left off, after some harrowing events in Elevation Pit and freeing that area of a archdemon that had basically for generations deceived the people under infernal contract. Now liberated, they headed back out onto the road, and after visiting Axel's father, Grom, receiving a divination with some consequences of some of the what might come in their destiny, and also facing off against some of Axel's past as they went to the place where his tribe of Tabaxi had been slaughtered and found out that a strange group of spectral dragonborn had attached themselves to his tribe and had basically so cursed them in their battle against these marauders who came across them, that even though they were seasoned warriors, were defeated. Also in that discovery, whereas when this happened some 20 plus years ago, there were no survivors except for Axel. However, through Axel's magic and his son Riley, born of the Life Rune, and his armor Sithrax, born of the Death Rune, apparently now there was one other survivor who was helped to escape, who Riley helped to escape from the slaughter. They ran off, and we don't know exactly what happened to them. With that, we are going to play our intro and hop back into the Vice. Hey folks, so when we last completely left off, the party, after joining up with the Short Whisker cider caravan, a ragtag bunch of pretty much folks that no one else was wanting to travel with, as they were heading on their way down to the conclave, they spotted that they were near a familiar spot, a place they know as Luna's Spring, one of the first places that the party really bonded after their adventures in the Vault of the Pious Paladin. And went off for some nostalgia. Celia volunteered to stay back and guard the caravan, as that was why they were trading off sort of room and board for protection. Headed off, took a swim, taught Riley how to swim, or kind of more float with his own version of sort of floaties, sort of giant lily pads that he was able to generate out of his arms so that he could float, as being a warforged, or as we call them, runeborn here in our world. Sank pretty readily. Everyone got out. Luck built a campfire. Nice meal was had. So I guess my first question is, would have the party camped here overnight at the spring, or headed back to the caravan, as they had pretty much stayed over on the road? As we sort of dive back in here.
Right back in.
Beautiful sky, crickets chirping. It is a beautiful spot this spring, the waterfall cascading down over top of the rocks, down into this crystal clear spring, almost 50 feet deep. As we said, the willows are in bloom now, as before they had just starting to get their first leaves. Fireflies flicker around this source of water, one of the few here in the northern Dragongust Plains.
I mean, Luna's sleeping at the bottom of the spring, but that does not mean everybody else has to camp here.
So,
Well, seeing Luna's frolicking and being underwater so much after his hands begin to prune and the gusts of winds begin to chill his skin, I think Vidal's going to suggest to Iska that he might head back and just try to stick with the caravan.
okay.
He looks at the rest and just like, we did make a deal. I mean, we don't want to be known as those who take on a job and then don't do it.
I can agree with that one. We probably. Well, I wasn't going to say we should, but it might be. I'm up for going back and heading around camp and spending more time with the people we're traveling with as well.
So long as nothing blows up.
Okay. Luck, you gonna stay here by the spring? Luna has noted that she's gonna sleep here at the bottom. You're welcome to stay here with Fire, or
Considering he's still fairly been heavily drinking and probably will make the choice to just sleep next to the fire. It's warm here, and stumbling back to the caravan's too much effort.
yeah, through the dark in the woods.
Yeah.
Vidar and Axel, with your night vision, and with Riley as well, comes with you. And you all head back to the caravan. As you arrive, it is later in the evening. Axel, you gonna hang up your hammock and turn in, or what are your thoughts for the night?
He's actually going to pace out areas of the caravan, get an idea of just how it's sort of arranged, and find convenient spots to set up an alarm spell.
Okay.
Generally just excluding everyone who is part of the caravan. So they set them up when they're wandering around at night, but if anyone sort of wanders into the caravan's general area or specific areas, then they'll go off and alert him, and only him, not a verbal, audible.
It's pretty easy. I mean, as most caravans do, the caravan sort of circles the wagons to off to the side of the road where there's many of these sort of rest area pull-offs, kind of camping sites, about a day's travel away from each other along this well-traveled road. And it would be pretty easy for you. You could certainly do one around the whole perimeter, or just sort of around what would be sort of the entrance to your sort of paddock that has been made by these wagons that have been sort of circled up. There's multiple cooking fires that people have set up, and you can see that the cider has been flowing. General good spirits here, and after about it'll probably take about an hour before all's said and done, because I assume you're doing this ritualistically, so you're not just burning slots.
There's quite a few little instances. So
Yeah.
takes some time.
You're able to do that. Riley actually looks at you, actually. Dad, can I go talk with Mr. Vidar?
Of course. As long as you don't, disturb him or anything. If he wouldn't be trying to sleep, but if he's busy,
He usually stays up late.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you can go talk to him. It's fine. No worries.
You notice that sort of over the course of coming back, Riley has changed his hair again. It's now sort of slicked back, like it's made out of 2 or 3 lily pads. Sort of almost looks like a cabbage, sort of slicked down close to his head, as he seems to be still kind of trying to figure out himself. Some of it, has happens subconsciously. This one seems to, maybe he took some effort with this.
Doesn't say anything, but it's just generally the old dad smile.
Thanks, Dad. And so Riley heads over and finds Vidar, and I assume you hook back up with Celia.
Oh yes, hopefully if I find her.
Hi, Mr. Vidar. Hey, Miss Celia. Hi, Mr. Lyle.
How you doing? I like what you're doing up top. It's nice. As you can see, I've actually got a bit of regrowth coming out, and that's what happens when you try to cut it yourself. Hopefully, you don't get the same sort of deal. Here's a and I actually show him through my hair a patch that I cut way too short by myself. That's just been hidden by locks.
I might be able to grow that out for you, but I'm not sure I want to try something that on someone yet.
Hey, that's fine, Riley. That's fine. There's no pressure here if you don't want to do anything. Just warning about the perils of cutting your own hair.
So I don't know if this is rude, but is it okay if I talk to Mr. Lyle, Mr. Vidar?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, of course. And I'm gonna just hold my hand out, and he's just gonna bamf into existence in silver starlight as it kind of like swirls and wraps around. Just in a flash. I'm gonna hold the blade flat and be like, with the handle pointed towards him. So I'm holding onto the edge. I'll be like, right for you.
Hi, Mr. Vidar. And Vidar sort of does his, hello, how can I help you? So, Mr. Lyle, is it true you can turn into any weapon? Well, yeah. Okay. Mr. Vidar, so Miss Luna back at Grom's tower, at Papa's tower, said that if things scare me, the best thing to do is to learn more about them.
Oh, yes.
So,
What is?
well, when we did that rune thing, I died from an arrow through my neck. And it's kind of scary. But I was thinking, maybe if I learn how to shoot, then I won't be as scared of people shooting arrows at me. But I also know that most bows are made out of wood, and I'm afraid that if I'm borrowing someone's bow and then I'm concentrating on shooting, that I could ruin it because it would grow. But since Mr. Lyle, and he kind of looks at you,
I just go. Sometimes the need for survival outweighs the risk involved. But yeah, Mr. I'm going to barely change the whole shape. It's basically just going to create a string, and both the sharp edges of the longsword are just going to curve, and the string's just going to appear. And he's going to become a longbow form. I mean, more than welcome to try it.
so
We figure it out. I do have. Oh, I still remember all of. Yeah, I think I still remember Ishgard's training.
yeah, I was thinking maybe between you and Miss Celia, y'all could maybe teach me?
Oh no, of course.
And since we all don't sleep as much as everyone else does, I was thinking that we won't be bothering anyone.
That's a good point. Yeah. How about 2 hours of practice? How far out can you see in the dark?
He sort of points off to a tree about 60 feet away. I mean, he has dark vision, so about the same as you. Actually, yours is a little different because you have devil sight, but
Yeah, some hassle. Vita's gonna look good. Yeah, okay. We're gonna train for 2 hours. Yeah. During the end of Celia's shift. And then Celia can take over. She'll teach you. I'll be the warm-up.
yeah, she's pretty good with like most everything I've ever seen her that you use to like hit or kill things.
Darling, you're very good at this. I don't want to take that away from you. So
She just sort of gives you a smile and a wink.
I'll go through the basics. Yeah. We'll team like this. We'll spitball it as we go.
Just so we're clear, the conversation that just has happened is, Mr. Vidar, can I use your pack weapon for target practice and practice with your girlfriend because she's better than you?
Pretty much.
That's the conversation that happened.
Yes.
Okay.
I am the target.
Yeah, that pretty much is exactly how that went.
If you haven't figured it out, I'm the target.
But yeah, so Templar, if you want to roll me a dexterity, it'll just be a check at this point because he is not proficient for Riley, as he's gonna give it a try. Look at Riley with a natural 19 and a natural 17.
Getting slapped.
So, you see that he starts to pick this up pretty good. So between you and Celia, you are able to pretty easily begin teaching Riley how to shoot this very first night. Do me a favor and go ahead and roll me a let's see, for teaching, I'd say go ahead, and since it's your pack weapon, we'll it would be dex with proficiency, just sort of on your teaching piece of giving the basics. You've done pretty well. Lyle chimes in a lot, as you
Well,
are
that's-
you are a sword swinger, much more than a shooter.
Shooter. I use my magic to shoot. I
Yeah.
tell him that.
And
But at one point when he realizes that like I'm talking in circles, I'm gonna stare at him and be like, okay, what's the best way we can do this? Riley, how opposed to you? I know you can make that you can make if you come into someone else's contact with someone else's bow. You are scared that will grow. But what if you focus your mind on assimilating with that bow,
well,
with that crossbow?
I'm hoping that eventually I can not just have things that I'm close to grow, but that's an idea too. I'm hoping I can right now just concentrating on trying to shoot stuff.
Oh, that's fine. Here, I'll put up a couple more targets, a little bit closer. Well, I'll just help my fill in the gaps. Ishrin was an archer once, correct?
And Lyle kicks in. It was pretty good once in a while, but I gave him a lot of help.
And I'm gonna use prestidigitation to create a couple of little targeting boards off in the distance,
Yep.
just up in some trees.
So let's see how Riley does on this second one. If you want to give him another dex.
I'll give him a attention check. Did Templar freeze?
Nope. There he is. Templar. Riley. Dex check.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was me.
No worries. Yes,
initiative.
as you're driving two people.
Hey, 13.
13. Riley's kind of getting a little caught in his head with this. And Lyle sort of goes, so, Riley, tell you what. Leave the aiming to me, and you just pull back as hard as you can. And I'd like you to make a strength check. Riley pulls back so hard, but like it shoots like 700 feet past the target. I mean, it doesn't even, I mean, he just blasts it through the target out the other side. I'm sorry.
Hey, for what? Hey, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. That's fine. You blew a hole in a tree.
Oh no.
But what can you do to help that tree?
Oh. Well, yeah. And so Riley sort of goes over where they're literally, he's basically knocked a hole the size of like a cannonball because with, well, you know, basically with Lysithia arrows and our boy's strength, he was it was pretty serious. He does go over and sort of sits there and concentrates, and you can see the tree seal itself back up.
And I'm just gonna like be keeping an eye out while he's doing this as well. Just looking around the direction while he's healing the tree, making sure there's no funny business around the environment around the caravan.
I mean, you do see the grass begin to grow a little bit as well. I mean, this is, you know, it's you're away from the caravan, so it's basically just shot out into the Dragon Gust Plains.
Oh, just looking for.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, so the night goes on, and between you, Lyle, and Riley, he begins his training in longbow. We are Gonna skip now back to the next morning. As Luck, you come awake by yourself there. Beautiful morning. Birds chirping. Hangover's not even that bad. Fire is still glowing a little bit. I mean, it's summertime, so it's even in this sort of northern areas. It was a warm evening, so just even having your jacket pulled over you, grain is sort of curled up, which always keeps you warm. It is just a little bit after sunrise. Would Luna have emerged yet, or is she?
If it's after sunrise, she would be emerged and practicing.
Okay, so there next to the spring, Luna, you can be doing your morning practices. The two of you sort of find yourself there next to this spring where you all had fished and were just known each other for a couple days the last time you were here.
I'm like, balls in your court. Luna's just practicing. It is entirely up to whether you interact or not.
He's gonna clean up the campfire and just lean against the tree. And, yeah, for now, he's just gonna lean against the tree and watch what she's doing.
Okay. Well, she'll keep practicing until she finishes her.
Yeah, your normal sort of 1 hour, hour and a half of morning, sort of Tai Chi-esque. Luna there with her, this new outfit that she had made herself, that she had donned back against the coast after she sort of had made her pledge, and sort of the glistening sunlight off of the water. Her hair almost moving in time. You notice as these orbs of water turn to ice, which then sometimes infuse her weapon as she practices with her staff, and then also, I assume, with your blade as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Until she finally, you make your last pose, and there's Luck. Grain at his feet. Campsite cleaned up, but waiting.
I have completed my practice. Shall we return to the caravan?
Yeah, let's go. See what other trouble comes our way today.
You guys, easy trek back. It's a fairly sparse forest. It's about only 30 minutes to get there. As you arrive, you can see the caravan sort of pulling out and starting to head on its way. It's about 11 days from here to Sojourn's Crossing. And how we're going to go through this travel is sort of snapshots through Riley's eyes as he sort of experiences some of y'all's memories. 2 days later, you all end up at Morgan's Creek, where Iska had first played her music, these chords of fate, these choruses of the muses at that point, and had her performance where she and Axel had strung the hammock across the creek, where Thorben had talked to all of you about this. And you see Riley sort of has pulled Iska aside, talking about that first performance and what it meant to be a performer. A few more days go on. Each night, Riley, working with Vidar, and Cilia and Lyle, becoming better and better at his skills with the longbow. His aim becoming better, but also sort of learning how to use his strength to give the power behind his shots, and so that aim becomes easier. That when you're not straining to hold the bow back, aiming becomes pretty point and shoot, instead of any of the normal sort of fatigue other folks do. Both Cilia and Vidar, you can see just how quickly he's progressing.
At one point, I think I'd challenge him to take on a bigger item, and I'd ask Lysithia to become oversized, a complete massive longbow.
And
his height, just so he has a bigger drawback.
Yep.
A lot more power.
Yeah, from sort of, you go from a standard longbow sort of to more of one of the elven longbows, which are a bit longer, than even to almost a whole new scale. You can see how Lysithia, using memory of other spheres, other worlds, has almost created these circles, these huge unwinding parts of it. So it is almost has created an oversized compound bow.
Good.
And you've switched from, as the trees have begun to fade away, but there are large hillsides where dirt has fallen away. There are sort of rocky outcroppings, and about the third day, you have used your magic to make a sort of a target on a rocky outcropping, and you see Riley pull back this massive bow as he's almost 6'2", 6'3". This bow is still, as he holds it, another 2 feet above his head. It literally is taller than he would be if it were on the ground, and it almost reaches down to his ankles. And you can tell as he draws back on this, he kind of has a smile in his eyes, and you see his arm almost seem like it get a little bit longer as he draws back even further. Goes slamming into the rock. You see Lysithia, this shining arrow of moonlight and steel, hit into this rock, and it just cracks and shatters. It kind of gives you a smile.
That's incredible. Good work, Riley. That is some force.
Well, I've seen some of the stuff we fought.
Yeah.
And thought maybe I should push myself.
That's good. Can I be honest with you, Riley?
Sure.
Don't tell me silly this either. But being around you, being around Axel, being around the rest of our little family, I hope I get to have a child one day. This is nice. I guess this is the experience you get being immortal.
Well, thank you.
This is a whole different experience to what my prior self had walking across these plains. It's been nice. It's been really nice.
It's been nice too.
Yeah.
Thank you for teaching me, Mr. Vidar. And Mr. Lyle.
there is a... Though if you are going to push yourself, and I'm going to start walking forward out into the field where he was shooting at, I'm going to look back and say, targets are fine and all. 80 feet. He's going to...
This is a great idea. All the healers are asleep. Fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with this.
Okay, alright, not comfortable, but I just need to let you know that there is a difference between shooting at a stationary rock and someone coming at you for your life.
Okay.
And that's the world, the real world of war and combat. And that's the worst part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of easy when you're thinking that it's a big, nasty demon guy. But I guess there's also the fact that there's people there, too.
There's people and monsters. I'm sure your dad will teach you about this, but for the moment, only if you're comfortable with it. Only 3 arrows. That's all. No more. No less. But if you don't want to do it, that's fine. And we will put it to bed.
Okay. Let's just keep
do it.
with targets tonight.
No, of course. Of course. It's just a thing to keep in mind.
Okay.
Then we're gonna pop another target up. But this time it's gonna be a balloon in the wind. It's gonna be tied to a tree, I'm gonna say. Okay, now that's bubbling. And
Why wasn't that the next step? No,
Because-
like, here's the
Shoot
fish you're
me!
on. Now hit me.
Because
Because it's
Vidar.
Vidar.
Because it's Vidar.
In between.
So
There is no in between.
there
There's
is
only
no
Vidar.
between.
you can go ahead and do me if you want to drag a longbow in. I don't know if you've been playing around with it, or if you want to just go ahead and do a strength with proficiency. So if you want to click off, you could do a strength save and click off like you're proficient in strength saves. That'll probably be the quickest way.
I think, yeah, it would be a strength save because proficiency is the same.
I imagine it's like bows the size of, like, it's the great axe, the great sword equivalent of a longbow.
Oh yeah, no, this thing is serious business. It is all but like a scorpion or a ballista, made out of moonlight and steel. Yeah, hitting a balloon is not nearly the same as the fun of cracking rocks. But
We'll just go back to another rock.
he also
and just-
seems a little bit distracted as he sees the balloon, and you can see his mind sort of racing of what if that was something alive.
Good job, Vidar.
With that,
You've given it
it's
an
actually
excellent
it's
choice.
great. It's perfect. It's perfect transition for what was coming up next anyway. Axel, you wake up the next morning, and you've had Riley telling you about these learning to shoot. But this morning, you see Riley deep in conversation with the adaptive armor.
Great.
He sort of just gets out of bed and wanders over. Now to know what you're talking about there?
So, me and Mr. S, we're talking about, well, life and death. He's death and I'm kind of life. But I was kind of saying that my argument was it's always wrong for things to die. But he was saying that if things don't die, then nothing can live. And it's kind of confusing, and I don't understand.
Well, when you talk about it from like a purely you talk about it from purely detached point of view. You used to live in the forest. When a tree falls over, it breaks and it rots and decays, and all the parts that make up the tree, go back into the soil. That's why there's fertilizers on fields and such, and it's all decay and dead things or processed things. But I mean, I'm not so much into the natural thing, but the natural world has its own way of reusing everything, and of course there's a lot of different ways, and I'm not a druid, but I do know that there is, you use in many ways dead things, feed live. I mean, we eat meat to survive and have what we need.
Yeah, he was talking about that too, but you all do, but I don't.
No, you don't, and maybe for you things will be different, and for you, when you look at the world, you could see it as you understand it. I see what I understand, and if you compared me to Luck, we see things very different. But everyone's like that. Everyone's different, and they see things differently, and they have different ideas and such. And if it makes you uncomfortable, you just let people know, and lots of people will be considerate. And if people look uncomfortable, you respond in kind. I went on a tangent here. This is what I'm sorry.
No, I understand. Yeah. So, Vidar wanted me to shoot him last night.
Does Celia know about that?
Yeah, well, actually, Miss Celia didn't come by last night.
Okay, well, we can check and see if he's right. But, yeah, he shouldn't be doing that. It's unnecessary. He can do that, because he can make his own decisions. You can choose not to. But also, he has been hurt before. Don't want him to get hurt, but...
Well,
sometimes
and I
people
figured
do
it...
silly things, admit them.
So, Mr. S was saying... Well, I was putting together what Mr. S was saying, and so I figured if I shoot him, it's only okay if we eat him, right?
Yes! Yes! Oh,
Perfect logic. Cannot argue with it. It's
I love it.
No. It's... No, we don't generally eat, intelligent people.
Oh.
I mean, there's probably exceptions. I don't know, but we don't eat people, even if we do kill them.
It seemed kind of gross, but
it's really not.
yeah, some of the things that some of the people around here seem kind of gross, have been eating, especially when they've been drinking a lot, seems kind of gross. But I don't eat, so I don't.
We can all be very gross. That's what. I mean, blood's disgusting.
People are awfully leaky.
That is true. Yes, that's true. That is true. But yeah, yeah. Firstly, no trying to kill Vidar. Being shooting at him and trying to kill him, very different things.
Well,
secondly, we don't eat people.
Right. Well, this was after I totally split a rock in two with Mr. Lyle. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
That's. I need to be watching some of these sessions because that sounds like it's great. I need to You show me what you can do.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Of course.
Well, and I figured,
Next session.
yeah, and well, I know Miss Iska's been busy, but maybe if I'm going to shoot Vidar, she should be around to fix him afterwards.
I probably could help with that. I do have... Wizards have different magic when it comes to healing, but I can help.
Well, I'd ask Miss Luna, but I think that she might just laugh.
Laugh.
I actually...
Oh, because Vidar's getting shot fair.
Yeah.
Actually... No, think about it. The person who's least likely to be even hurt by that would be Luna.
Oh,
Because she's really good at catching arrows in the air and such, so... If this is not something we really should be having a conversation about. I can also help you practice. I can animate some objects, and they're going to be difficult to see and move, and they'll move as well.
oh, okay.
So, moving targets.
So we could shoot things that don't die but still move.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
We can practice that. Why did he want you to shoot him?
Well, I sort of split the rock in half, and he thought it was cool, and I thought it was cool, and then he was like, "You should shoot me because it would be harder."
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
sounds like
I didn't feel comfortable about the whole thing. But Mr. Vidar's really nice, but sometimes I don't think he thinks things all the way through.
That is...
He is such bad influence uncle, and I love it.
Goals.
Yeah, that's Mr. Vidar. I'm glad you do have a very good sense for people. Sort of pats the armor.
Yes. Well, and it's interesting as over the last, golly, just at this point about 2 weeks, he's gone from basically a 12-year-old to now it's kind of a 12-year-old in like a 20-year-old's body.
Yeah.
Little taller than you, broad.
A lot.
Seemed to
Imagine
get-
sitting next to each other, just like...
Yeah. Well, everyone's moving along, so we probably should get going.
Of course, yeah. You can help me take down the hammock, please.
Yeah. And he starts collecting things.
Doesn't have
up.
to do it, it just reaches up.
Yeah, just yeah. And
Axel puts equipment on and stuff, and we get
as you do you don your armor, or do you just pack it up?
No, he generally just wears his armor these days.
Yeah. So
Even on
as
traveling.
you sort of don your your reactive armor, you hear Sithrax's voice. He's a smart one. Very inquisitive.
I can't complain about that. As long as, you don't, we don't, people don't lead them to the, curiosity killed the tabaxi, I've heard. So. But I can't help being... I'm proud of him.
I think it'll take more to kill him than curiosity.
Yes, and I don't want to talk about that.
Understood. He's a good boy.
That he is. And, thank you for talking to him a lot,
Who better to talk about death than I?
You've got a unique perspective.
And
Getting along well.
you feel Sithrax's presence sort of curl around your neck as it often does.
I just want to go get my snakes. This isn't helpful.
Vidar, Celia actually approaches you as the sun is rising.
Mike,
My mic?
I think it sounded a little weird for a moment.
A little crackly for a
A
moment.
little
yeah.
crackly for a moment. It's
Yeah.
back
No, it's
now.
fine.
We good?
Okay.
You're back now.
Yeah, never. No, none of my mics like when I get right when I do Sithrax noises. And she goes, I've reached out to Mithrani for the last couple days.
Hmm.
The Axel's vision's been worrying me.
I mean, a lot of Axel's vision's been worrying me. What's in your mind?
Last night, Mithrani answered.
Oh no. Good, but oh no. What did
He's
what did he say?
we had a talk. He's agreed to give me a hand, as long as I give him a hand. So,
I'm always willing to help if you need it as well. Let
Well.
him know.
roguey stuff.
Riggs. Chill out. Understood.
And I'll meet you soon. And you see her just take out her dagger and stick it into the air and rips open this black rift. And she sort of gives you a look.
I love you too. Yeah.
And she gives you a wink and steps through the rift that seals up behind her.
Oh god, I hope she's safe. Oh god, I hope she's safe. Oh god, I hope she's safe. Well, I'll tell her she's going to be safe.
It's Celia. If anyone will be safe, it's be Celia.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Alright. Well, anyway, let's go to the clothing caravan, and I want to see if I can get a couple of alterations done. I feel like the same coat is starting to lose its.
Speaking of the clothing caravan, I think over the course of these days, Luna would make sure, offer to help. One, she wants to make sure she's not cutting into the clothing caravan's business, but help with patches or whatever if people want a new shirt or something like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is pretty easy for you. You can go and help out Ruth. You finish up her
Yes.
the shirt that she made, and you also give me 1 second. As you go along, you meet the half elf and half orc who you all had passed by before, who seem to be sailmakers, but who have been basically hired to take care of sort of these tents as they are coming down from a port city that Ruth apparently knew this group, these two, along their way, and one is named the half orc male's named Vart, and his wife is named Stellara, and they are sort of going through all of these big giant just rolls of sailcloth and sort of repairing them, making sure that along the trip that any place that they've gotten wet, that they sort of rotate them in order to make sure moisture doesn't build up so there's not any rot or any mold or mildew that's on them. Certainly with your powers over water to draw water out, you're able to keep things very dry, and your only issue that you find is their son, Thomas, who likes to nap down in these piles of sailcloth. And so often as you're going to do this, you'll be 2 or 3 layers deep and then come across this half orc, half elf, their son, Thomas, who about 14. You have found that he is a leather worker, or apprentice leather working. He works on some of the strapping, so it's pretty easy for you to make friends with this sort of group of a shipwright and a sailmaker along the way. A few more days go by, and you all find yourself in the lake bed where the dust storm had hit you before. It is now in beautiful, verdant bloom from the rains, stretching pretty much as far as the eye can see. These sort of violet, little small violet flowers on these deep green leaves, and these short little sort of short ground cover that has covered the entire place. And Luck, you are approached by Riley. You notice as he comes forward, he is sporting a beard, sort of like, that is somewhat similar to your own, but it is made from these purple sort of violet flowers and these sort of green, sort of short leaves, sort of almost thorny like leaves, sort of vines that kind of are making a little bit of an imitation of a beard. It sort of goes a little bit across his hair as well. And he comes up to you. Hi, Mr. Luck.
Hello. I wasn't taking a nap.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to bother you or anything.
Oh. Ow. How can I help you?
My dad said that you and he, like, see the world differently. And I'm just trying to, I don't know, see stuff differently?
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, you're a good cook, and you've had a son.
Right.
So, hi.
Hi. So, note about conversations. I need something to go off here.
So I'm just, I don't know. I know you don't like magic, and, Dad's all about magic, and I'm kind of am magic. And, Vidar, he, does all kinds of, weird magic. And Celia's not around, so I don't know. I guess I kind of was wondering about not magic?
Well, not everyone has magic. That's sort of a given. And people have to find ways of achieving things through their own hands.
Like what?
Well, making a fire. Do you know how to make one without a tool?
Well, I watched you a couple times. I kind of was trying off over to the side a little bit, but I keep making the wood come back to life.
Sorry. Phrasing.
It's not funny. Whenever I concentrate on doing one thing, I kind of lose my concentration on not just having everything grow. But I want to learn. I want to learn how to do that, and I mean, I'm learning how to shoot a bow, but strength was really good with a sword.
He's been practicing for many years.
Well, and I've seen you hit stuff with your pickaxe.
That has also been practice of many years of swinging a pickaxe.
So, what's it like? I mean, I went down a little bit with you guys in the mines, but mainly just that big, scary crystal place. But I mean, is everything underground that scary?
Sometimes. Sometimes you'll go days without hearing anything other than your axe chipping away at the veins of ore.
So, the reason I was learning to shoot a bow is because I was a little bit scared of that. Well, I was a lot scared of that. And then Miss Luna was helping with magic because after seeing what it did to Dad, that scared me. But those were things I know about. What do you do when it's something new and you don't understand it and it scares you?
Do it. You stop thinking about it. Stop coming up with complicated things coming up with what your actions and consequences. Forget about that stuff and just do it.
Real consequences, huh? Just do it, huh?
Shut up. He's giving different advice that doesn't matter.
Okay.
So next time he sees the die, he's going to shoot him.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I'm getting from it.
okay.
So
If you're going
you-
to do something dangerous, like let's say jump off a cliff, don't maybe think about that. I am not a man who gives life advice a lot of the time.
Well, but what if it's between like a demon chasing you and jumping off a cliff, and you've got to do one or the other, and the demon's scarier than the cliff, and then so you have to jump off, and then you don't know what you're gonna do, and you're so just don't think too much.
Well, don't think too much. Go in there with go in there ready, but sometimes you gotta make it up as you go along.
Okay.
He said sometimes before you jump on me again.
Okay. So maybe sometimes just go with your first instinct?
Yeah. Instincts are a good thing. But wait, you're not human. That saying doesn't work. Well, I guess it could work. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes not all the rules quite apply.
No. I was going to say human instincts is one of the best sources of getting yourself safely, but that doesn't really apply here.
Well,
I'm. It's complicated, I think, is the best way to put it.
well,
Things are weird.
things are weird. So, this place here.
Hmm?
They were saying that this is where there was a big dust storm here.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a story about it? Everyone else hasn't talked about it a lot.
Oh, well,
And Dad said you tell some of the best stories. That you, even helped save Falcon's Crest? Because the stories you were telling about to the Spider Woman?
Right. Yes, those. Yes. So, the dust storm. That was months ago now. Oof.
Yeah.
We, we're traveling with a caravan, like you do. A good old group of us.
Riley just listens to you raptly as you begin to spin tales and are no longer questioned about life things. And
Please stop asking me the hard questions I don't have answers for.
yeah. And the days keep going on. One of the things that you notice is the caravan keeps growing day by day. As traffic on the road is picking up, more people walking alongside. You have a few more wagons have joined in. Another caravan, basically you all caught up to another caravan, and sort of just because the way it is, this caravan of about a dozen wagons is now about 24 or more wagons all heading the same direction. You see lots more people walking up and down the sides, having conversations, talking about all the gossip, all the news. You see lots more kids and younger adults who are also mixed in. Pretty much all but a slow-moving traffic jam heading down towards Sojourn's Crossing. And so many people. Until you guys finally arrive at Verdant Falls. This beautiful waterfall and large, pool at its base, coming off of the rainbow stream out of Tiamat's Tears, where all of these sort of hanging vines are behind the waterfall, making the waterfall almost look like a green curtain of sort of flowing water, very similar in a way to even Luna's hair. And Iska gets quiet as you all approach. And as evening comes on, as you're camping, Riley goes in search of Luna. Where would Luna be?
She'd be next to the fall, actually still fully clothed and just kind of one hand sort of basically just barely skimming the water. She did not immediately submerge herself like she normally would.
Yeah. Hi, Miss Luna.
Hello, Riley.
How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
Okay. It's pretty obvious something's on his mind.
Is there a way I can help you, Riley?
Well, I don't think so. But maybe. I'm different than everybody.
Yes.
Well, I tried to make friends with some of the other kids, but all the kids who are doing the things that I want to do, playing ball and games and such, they kind of think like I'm an adult. And so then I went to go play with the kids who look more like me, but all they want to do is sort of sneak off in the woods and play games like Mr. Vidar and Miss Celia do. And I kind of didn't want to mess with that.
That was me. Luna does not
Yeah.
as a part of me.
And I don't even have some of those parts. So, and then when I kind of hang out with the adults, when I'm not around Dad, they think that I'm some kind of doll or something that Dad made, and talk about him like with this weird sadness, or like he's done something creepy or weird. And just no one's like me. And I don't know. I feel weird and awkward and unwanted.
Oh boy. Luna's face actually relaxes into a more open expression of understanding. Like so he could actually tell us what it is. Well, I have not experienced precisely what you have in the way you have. Feeling like an other I am well acquainted with. I wish I could give you an easy answer or a fix, but I cannot. Sometimes people will view you a certain way, and there is nothing you can do to change their mind. The only person you can be is yourself. You'll have to decide whose opinion matters to you. Your dad?
Uh-huh.
Maybe some of the others in our group.
Well, yeah.
And some experiences you will just have to live without. Children would not play with me either, but for a different reason. Even though I was roughly their size and their age. People fear what they don't understand. Some, if you explain, might come to understand better. And play with you or interact with you differently, but others will not.
Well, yeah, like Malcolm and Ruth have always been really nice, and I thought maybe everyone was gonna be that way. Everyone from the beginning, you know, Thomas and Vart and Stellara, everyone's always been really cool. Even, he's kind of crazy, Fazlbaum never made me feel weird, but some of these new people, they're just not very nice.
They're not. Some people aren't nice. Some people may hate you, and you have no control over that.
But I never did anything to them.
You don't have to. You existing makes them angry. Me existing makes some people angry. The world is not. There are good people in the world, but the world is balanced with good and bad, like and dislike, love and hate. You'll not always know which one you will encounter when you meet someone new. You can hope. The best thing to do is hope for the best and be prepared for the worst.
Okay.
It is disheartening, and again, I wish I had a better answer for you, but sometimes there is nothing you can do. And she's indicating her arm scars.
Yeah. I guess no magic is gonna make that change.
Even if it did, you should be yourself. There are ways to disguise yourself with magic or appear different. But if you cannot live as yourself, what is truly the point? In this very place we sat, I traveled with my companions who were nice to me. And then someone from another group who'd stopped there decided I was unclean and the source of their misfortune and wanted me gone. But they're not who I care about. I care about the people with me. I care about the people who see me as a person. You have to be you and find the people who see you and like you for you. Other people don't matter. And she'll do a slightly less awkward pat on the shoulder if he allows her.
Oh, he will.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Luna. And I guess the thing to do is stick together with the people who see you who you really are.
And I know it's a small thing, but I will play ball with you whenever you would like.
I'd like that.
And he'll get a very small smile.
Thanks, Miss Luna.
Thank you, Riley.
Riley sort of heads off. Certainly more of a less troubled look on his face. A little bit more confidence in his step. And heads over and gives Axel a hug. And the journey continues. 2 days later, as you all are familiar, you find yourselves outside of a familiar town. There.
Surgeon's Landing.
Hmm?
Surgeon's Landing.
Yep.
Yep.
There in front of you is the familiar. Hello. What happened to my music? Oh, come on. Didn't like something. There in front of you, as the early morning light begins to hit upon you, you see the northwestern gate of Sojourn's Crossing there in front of you, where you met so many of your adventures, where even Vidar began his adventures here, even though with a different group than this one. And as you all get closer, there's that bustle about the city, where the two roads that connect the major thoroughfares here on the western continent converge. Sojourn's Crossing, where Cloak and the Fireball, you all spent so much time, where you made friends and enemies, and sort of found yourselves as young adventurers. And the morning sun rises, backed up probably for a good half mile out of the gate from this direction, is just wagon after wagon after wagon. As you look over to the east, where the eastern road comes in, you can see it too, is just a train of wagons going in. And you all see different groups who don't have wagons are sort of gathering their belongings and starting to walk their way into Sojourn's Crossing. And I look to all of you as we come a little bit back home. Where and how would you all like to do this?
Going to find Sky and Gendry.
Huh?
Going to find Sky and Gendry. Peace.
So, Cloak and Fireball, it sounds like then?
Yeah.
Good place to stay.
I think my mix is a little bit hot on the music side. So you guys make it into town. You gather up your belongings, so can say your goodbyes of anything that you want to. You see Iska saying bye to Fazelblom with a small box of strange-looking bullets in her hand. Ruth
Oh,
gives you a nod, Luna, in sort of her silent way, sort of lifting an eyebrow, almost
My best friend.
almost, yeah, literally no words have to pass between the two of you all. These micro expressions, little nods, little eyebrow lifts, and she does sort of just take a glance down at her beautifully tailored shirt that you have made her, and her new work shirt that both fashionable and functional, and you guys can head on. Sorry, my music was not on repeat. You guys can head on in. As you remember, this town is basically laid out almost like a giant X. Cloak and Fireball is right at sort of the center, where there is a sort of watering hole for the horses. Down in the southern quadrant is where all of the sort of corrals, paddocks, barns are. The sort of northern quadrant has a lot of the residential housing. The western quadrant, some of the mercantile, the big mercantile sort of barn, all the shops along the way. And the eastern quadrant has sort of more of the custom tradesmen and more like sort of general goods type ideas. But you all can make your way in down the main road. It is packed. The roads are filled. You can hear calls of vendors from over in all of the mercantile thing. You see a lot of people pulling their carts over and unloading into almost this sort of flea market like area. You guys know over there, sort of as you're walking in, sort of buried in the western quadrant is Knob's place, one of the back alleys back there. And as you continue moving forward, you do eventually see up to your left the familiar big three-story plus layout of Cloak and Fireball. How would y'all gonna go head in the front doors?
Yep.
Yep, following very closely behind Luna and look over the luck and be like, wow, it's been some time. It's good to not see this place without.
Yeah, as you guys head in, you actually see there's a little bit of like a queue almost to get in as people are sort of shuffling in, even though it's only about 10 a.m. at this point. It is quite crowded. You see there's people sort of talking on this sort of front porch area, the sort of stone and wooden structure. Doors, the two big double doors, are flung open as people are starting to flow in and sort of I need to I didn't like give you all your new markers on here. I think it's like I forgot to update all the things on the map. We probably are not going to need.
I was just confused for a moment. I'm like, oh, I'll just check it out. Oh, never mind. No, I won't.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So you guys find your way there, and I actually am going to do this. This is what I want to do. And as you all step in to this hustle and bustle, finally making it through the two front doors of the Cloak and Fireball, you hear a voice, a familiar voice, call out, "Oh, hello, dears! Goodness, it must have been at least a week since I've seen you last. Have you had a nice trot about?" As you see Agatha, the alehouse drake, her sort of mottled skin of sort of fiery orange and white, almost like a koi, sits above the rafters as you walk through the doors, her little eyeglasses perched upon her nose, and gives a look down to all of you. "So, a nice trot about?"
Yes.
You could, yeah, yes.
Yeah, you can say that. Hello.
In terms of, yeah, trot about, nice, eventful, very eventful.
"What, has it been a week, 2, since we last saw you?" She sort of looks at you sort of myopically.
At least.
Yes, more than that.
"Ah, well,
I've lost track of time. This trip was really good. Have rolled into one.
you all can all make perception checks if you'd like."
You see who's around.
I'm gonna.
She's not
look up
around.
her- I'm gonna look up her and say, yeah, it might have been a couple of months.
Blind as ever.
Really good.
Well, actually, with because your passive is 16.
Oh,
But you are quickly drawn to the teeming and bustling behind the bar of your good friend Thorben Frostbeard and his continual supply of frosty ales and lagers that he has. Vidar, you've not been here in this form before. And the last time you were here, it was completely different circumstances.
Eating coins.
Eating coins. Axel. Oh, go ahead.
I look up at Agatha and I say, "So, is the bacon still hot and as juicy as ever?"
Oh, of course. Madeline always has it on. She sort of adjusts her glasses. "You're familiar, but I don't seem to recognize you.
I'm
I've
just gonna
memory
wipe
for
my
faces."
hand- I'm just gonna wipe my hand across my face as I cast a little prestidigitation and turn that wipe back into the form of Ishrin's eyes, eyebrows, and so that those bright, big blue full eyes just stare directly at her, and like a little bit of glitter from it.
Oh, the crazy one.
Spot on. A few things happen.
I
in a
like the
couple weeks.
makeover. It's nice.
Oh, thank you. He's just gonna do it well for her.
You're not made of magic anymore.
I'm a little bit saner these days too.
Well, that's an improvement now, isn't it?
I mean, you have to ask the rest of them. I'm trotted in with this crew now. Really, very kind. But yeah,
We'll have,
magic gone.
we'll have to have a chat.
So back in Draconic, I say.
Quite a bit of moving and shaking about the old place.
Oh, I've been dancing. I've been dancing.
Nice. Axel, you definitely notice that she's actually looking quite spry compared to the last time you saw her. Sort of the orange and white scales of her skin, they always sort of had a bit of a glow to them. They are positively radiant now. Almost, there's just this clarity almost to the inner light. It's almost as though like a cloudy film has been peeled away from her scales, and that this sort of light radiating from her is far brighter and stronger than it was before.
You're looking, well, energized.
Oh, thank you for noticing. Just a shed of the old skin, as drakes do every century or so. And she gives you a wink. She goes, make these old bones feel like something's awakened. Like I felt long ago, when I was younger.
Sounds like a... Yeah. I can imagine that's invigorating.
Quite. Something's afoot in the world, it seems.
You say like a foot isn't singular. I'm pretty sure there's a feet.
Well,
There's a lot of things happening.
old feet, old hands. She sort of looks
So
at you again pointedly.
Yeah, we have some stories to tell, for sure. But I think we're here for the bacon. Some of
Wait.
us.
You better be getting a table quick, or rooms as well if you're wanting them. The city will be filling up fast. Everyone's on the way to the conclave, as you know, and that first group through the Vice after the solstice and the spawning is just now making it into town. They've been starting to flow in, some of the Outriders, but there's sure to be a whole crowd of them coming up with news from East, and people heading this way.
Well, we better take as many as we can.
Yeah, we'll grab some rooms. Of course, we're is everyone around? We can maybe point us in directions.
Oh.
Who's still here?
Thorben is there behind the bar. He'll get you your rooms all set up. Well, I don't know if the gossip's reached, but Florian, oof, nasty piece of business there. He's lucky to be alive. Barely is if you listen to the scuttlebutt all around.
I heard something about that. What happened? Do you know?
No one really knows exactly. Someone out to kill him. Balshirian's been in a state. He's been beside himself. They've had to sequester him after he went a bit mad, searching for whoever had tried to harm Florian. You know, the town's full of gossip. Everyone coming in. Such hustle and bustle all around.
Sky?
Oh, Sky's probably at this hour still up on the third floor, doing some of the housekeeping.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
We'll catch up.
So Luna, Axel heading upstairs, Luck, Vidar.
Maxwell's still downstairs.
Oh, okay. Luna
Yeah,
starts
he's-
charging upstairs. We'll follow you up there in a moment.
Eventually we'll head up there, I imagine.
Yep. Luck, Vidar.
I think I'll just suggest Luck to head to come with me to the bar and we'll hail over Forbin. I'll pull my hands up and say, Lumid, bacon.
Just find a table out there somewhere. Madeline and the servers will be right around. He sort of looks at both of you, recognizing neither one of you.
No.
Yeah, we are completely different.
Yep. And first time in.
Long story, but here a couple of months ago, do you remember that crazy blue exploding elf?
Bacon thief.
Bacon thief. Eats coins.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
It is a long story.
3 rooms as well, if you don't mind.
Sounds great. It's going to be a moment as we've got a few checking out, lots of people turning over, but
That's fine, boy.
as you know, if you've been here before, it is 2 gold a day, get you your breakfast, get you all the ale you want at dinner.
All right.
On lunches on your own.
That's okay. I'll put down. And Dusty just gonna pull out 30 gold for them, just like and put it down. But
5 days in advance.
5 days in advance. There you are.
Axel finally emerges because he was hiding, waiting for the same Fulman's reaction.
Oh,
Axel looks different, but still.
I was gonna say Axel looks basically the same for the most of the time that you were here.
Yeah.
Now this one I know.
Yeah, I wanted to see how you reacted to these two. There's a lot been happening. Everything been
Apparently.
good here? Yeah.
That's pretty slow during while the Vice is closed, and some pass-throughs of the early people setting up for the conclave. But we're getting close now, so everyone is showing up all at once.
All right. Well, yeah, it's good to see you all well, and yep.
I'm sure Saki's going to be happy to see you.
You still around?
Ask me how you get rid of a whiskey gremlin, and I'll be happy to pass it along to you.
See what I can do.
That would, well, he kind of looks and he goes, "You can try, maybe not too hard though. Little guy's grown on me a bit.
I got it.
He's great for parties."
Yes, I understand that. Yes. Right. Well, rooms and bacon. We find a table.
You look around. There's not a lot of tables. What sort of over in your normal spot, all the way down there to one side. You have to share with some people, but there's a couple open stools. You see Eska has wandered off to go over say hello to the band members who are, you recognize, you don't recall their names. But she's over there chatting with them. Luna, up the stairs.
Yep.
You know your way up second flight. And you go for a search around. And do me a perception check.
Ah.
21. Actually, the three of you guys can do me a perception check as well. And hey, Luck, good guy, we are totally losing you in the dark.
Sorry.
No, it's not that sinking. It's that just that there's no light on you.
Oh, hold on.
It's like you're a black square, dude. Yeah, with that 25 stuff. Oh, wow, look at this.
Got him. I'm picking up.
Got eyes for days.
Tell you what. Looks like we're looking for one from Luck. A perception.
Eyes for days.
Eyes for days. So, as you guys, both Luna upstairs and with three of you all, as you all head over to your table, which is sort of right there by that hallway that heads out into this sort of backyard area that you all are very familiar with. You all hear the sound of battle, of fighting happening out back. You hear swords clashing. You hear sort of a loud noises as out back there seems to be some sort of scuffle that is going on.
Luna will try and find the nearest opening again, even if it's like a window or something, and dive out trying to see what's going on.
Okay, do me an
It's all
acrobatics.
floor.
Do me an acrobatics check from the third floor to land. How about the rest? How about the other three of you?
Stand up, sort of start running over.
As
Wait, is this...
Luck stands up, runs out this back door that you know leads straight by the offices and out into the sort of the back courtyard. How about the Vidar, Axel? You all following?
Yeah. Good.
Axel will sort of... I'm presuming they're set next to something. Is there something happening outside?
Sounds like something.
He's talking to the people who presumably are there and might know more.
Yeah, they sort of all look at you like they haven't noticed anything.
Okay, well, and now he's up and gone.
You
can stay, you can come. Right, it's alright. Don't worry too much.
You all go running outside, and you see, with your perception checks, all of you all see, person you first recognize is Renart, the monk, is out there, and he is in full-fledged battle with a dark gray figure with a huge two-handed iron sword, swinging at him, hair ablaze, eyes like fire. There's a sheen of blue fire that covers his body and sort of ripples across of his skin, sort of long, developed lean muscle, as the two of them start fighting in earnest at each other in crazy back and forth, just battles back and forth across this back. You can see leaping on top of the tables and fighting each other. Luna, on that acrobatics check, out of 25, you land easily and see this other monk. He has his quarterstaff, and you see him switch off with every once in a while for a long, slender sword as well. As he switches back and forth, this fiery warrior basically a lot of just big, heavy-handed smashes with who. Actually, all of y'all with such good perception, you see this sort of strange set of armor that he's wearing. It's like an armored kilt almost, bracers and greaves around his waist. There's this thick belt that has like these weird sort of dragonoid, sort of dark iron stylized faces. And you can see this armor is glowing with heat.
Okay, I know everything's going real fast, but can Luna do like an insight to see, like, does this seem like a spar or a fight to the death?
Go ahead and do a insight check.
Okay.
On a 25, this is definitely a spar.
Okay. Luna then relaxes to the sidelines, like, staff at the ready, but yeah, she definitely relaxes then.
Okay.
And will not distract them.
Yep. So yeah, you lean back.
She'll sheathe it to indicate to those that no, it's fine.
Sort of give a nod. Are you all paying attention to?
Yeah,
Is
the dog's
that-
coming fast.
Oh, cool. Maybe. I mean, with fire and everything.
And with that, on your perception check, Axel, you immediately recognize this warrior
Is it Kindry?
as the warrior from your vision.
Oh, shit. Okay, something different. Which one? There was several. Sorry.
The fiery warrior with the big dark iron sword.
Mm.
Vidar, again, you're seeing this fire Genasi warrior. Luna and Axel, do me an insight, Axel.
Like, I can say, my guess was Gendry, so like inspired. She's like, okay, yes, I know Gendry knew Renard. That's what Luna's assuming.
Yep. And then the recognition hits you that this is, in fact, Gandry. Much changed Gandry. Oop, I hate that it turns off my music when I do that. A much changed Gandry. As they finish their skirmish, Gandry looks up and goes, Luna! You've returned. You remember Renat? He's been training me.
And it seems you have listened and learned well.
I have. As this now sort of fiery warrior with this dark iron sword, Gandry, sort of looks around, recognizes Axel, sort of looks strangely at Luck, and no recognition at all with Vidar. And he goes, give me a moment and let me greet you all properly. And you sort of see Gandry concentrate for a second as this blue flame. He's of course not that scale, just to give you the visual.
Yeah,
but
no, I got
yeah,
it.
you see sort of this blue flame shine bright and then disappear, and his hair sort of settles down from this big blaze into just a sort of low flame across his head. You see him sort of take off the bracers and kick off the greaves, and grabs a long sleeveless tunic. You sort of can immediately recognize this, Luna, with your sort of tailoring eyes. This is been crafted out of those same sheets that were fire resistant from up in his room. It is a long tunic. It actually goes down almost to his knees. And you see him sort of pull the tunic that doesn't have sleeves on it just sort of over his head. And you can sort of see him fiddle at his waist for a catch. You actually see the kilt sort of drop out from underneath of it. As it hits the ground, you hear it sizzle. The heat from the armor, as it is heated up as he's been fighting in it, has become all but red hot. You see it kicks it up to his hand, and you see him grab it in his hand without any reaction whatsoever. He sort of sets it over both the armored kilt, the bracers, and the greaves, almost like on a grill grate. And as they sort of sizzle there, you can see the heat waves coming off of them. He throws a sort of long leather belt around his waist and puts on sort of like a heavy rawhide apron that Luck immediately can tell is filled with cooking tools. And goes, well, that's better. Look at all of you.
Look at you. You're doing well.
Picture of health.
Well, Renat's mostly to blame, but then Madeline runs a mean kitchen, and once she learned that I was able to grill, she sort of put me in charge out over here. And you see him sort of walk over to the big fire pit, and as he does, I'm going to move him out of the way. Doo-doo-doo. As he does, you see him just reach down into the coals and sort of turn over the wood and the coals to sort of do them. He doesn't use any sort of tool on his hands, and you can see across his sort of ash gray skin, which was sort of pallor, sort of had this sickly power to it when you first pulled him out of the box. Sort of all the places that had this rippling on it almost look like scarification, sort of darker areas of scarring. And you see as he then sort of flips over this, what looks like two large boar that are well seasoned and sort of smoking on the grill. Luck, you would recognize the smell. It is very much similar to the spices that you use. But anyway, so yeah, Renat has been teaching me, and I'm getting ready as he sort of looks at Luna.
She will actually, so she'll say in Primordial, getting ready for what?
Just, in Primordial says back, just like you said, to get ready for the fight to come with the tieflings.
Oh, right, she was really angry. Oh, I forgot.
I was wondering when this would come back to bite
She
you.
was really angry still, then. Oh,
I've
no.
had a vision about this.
Hey,
Oh. And
how does it feel?
Still don't
So-
regret it.
One of my visions, actually, he was in one of the visions with all your armor. It was actually really impressive. I cannot remember the vision exactly. It was the one where it was just fighting a horde of enemies, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Darkness.
you saw him back to back with a swashbuckler, an Air Genasi swashbuckler, who you're familiar with, basically back to back with just lost his name, Sithander, fighting off a horde of unseen foes with luck overhead on golden wings, was what you saw in the vision. But this is the fiery warrior with a giant two-handed flaming black iron sword. Vision, you say?
Yeah, Luna, like, so Luna pauses for
Long
a second,
story.
and then,
Long story.
And then, again, this is all Promo, just like, I have had a long journey. Thank you for the reminder.
What? Well, you're back now. So are you here to stay? Where have all you been?
Back to common, just like, slow down. That's fine. We will be here for a time.
Well, that's great. Sky should be around somewhere.
Yes, I was going to find her, and then I heard the scuffle and landed.
You see Renart come over and sort of give you a nod. Not very dexterous, but packs a wallop, and the heat gets to you.
She like nods respectfully to Renard, and then looking over to Gandry. Perhaps we will find time to. I will have the privilege of sparring with you while I'm here.
He sort of. That would be great. I'd like that. I hope I've made you proud.
Your existence makes me proud.
He sort of whispers to you in Primordial, I think there's good news.
And then just back, just like, we can talk about it later in private.
Axel will move to make eye contact with Luna, and, well, just make eye contact. Basically let her know, he knows what you're talking about. He's gonna leave. Because he understands Primordial, so he's leaving.
That's right.
I didn't think that was one of your normal languages. She forgot. Oh well.
But he's just letting her know now. She's like, oh, maybe she didn't know that.
Now she does. She sure didn't before.
Yeah.
Doesn't change her face.
Yeah. But he sort of smiles and he goes, did everyone get rooms? And it's going to be crazy around here. Caravans galore.
We'll look back to those because she wasn't actually there.
We paid for rooms for 5 days, 3 rooms.
5 days, that's great.
We'll actually, I'm gonna go get myself situated and such.
Gandry, okay. Gandry walks up to Luck and sort of looks you over, and it's funny as he approaches. He kind of sniffs, and as always is around you, that sort of smell of campfire and spices. He looks and goes, Luck?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you?
Long story.
I look forward to hearing it. And he just gives you a huge bear hug. He is not like burning, but
it's
hotter
warm.
than a normal person should be.
Okay.
As he hugs you.
He gives him a big old one back then.
And Grain's grown.
Absolutely. He's learned some very useful tricks as well.
Well, he learned his first ones right here, and he sort of pulls a piece of meat off and goes, Justice? And immediately Grain goes to Justice pose and he throws him a piece of meat from off of one of the boars. And hi, I'm Gandry. He sort of introduces himself to Vidar.
Vidar's gonna give a bit of a bow and say, hello, I am Vidar Lagrin. Very wonderful to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. So
You
met up with...
You're very impressive.
Oh, well,
Your physique is amazing, and the way you wielded that sword just before I was concerned. Good luck.
Well, Renart's a great teacher, and luckily, Sky, he kind of blushes a little. My girlfriend, her dad helped me get both the armor and the sword from the mercantile. They're magic, because, well, it was a little. I didn't realize. I didn't realize. Golly, I'm doing the wrong voice. I'm doing Riley's voice. I didn't realize that. That my flames would get quite so hot, and it was a bit training was a bit awkward the first couple of times when my armor caught on fire. But this armor does much better. It's from the southern dwarves up on the plateaus there, from the Lavafoot clan.
Oh, that'd be very impressive to see that wave. But that's very interesting. Wonderful to meet you. Yes, I caught up with these lovely, wonderful peoples as they were leaving, as they left last time. Yes, they may have found me on the road. They picked up a stray.
So, like grain?
Exactly like rain.
I'm Gandry. I've got to get my Gandry voice back and not do Riley voice. And I was about to have a conversation between Riley and Gandry. I'm going to skip it because it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
We're just going to do it this way. They introduce themselves to each other, and
it's a wonderful moment.
Yes, Riley is very impressed because this is gonna. I'm gonna end up. It's gonna be terrible, but you can see Riley fanboys a little bit over the fact of this guy who's like on fire warrior dude. But Gandry looks to Lou and goes, Sky should be inside somewhere. Probably helping out Madeline in the kitchen for the morning rush.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll... Well, she's in the kitchen. Perhaps I should not bother her.
Oh, Madeline would appreciate... Not unless you want to face Madeline's wrath. You might want to wait till she comes out.
I shall wait then. And perhaps keep you company for a while.
For sure.
Maybe when perhaps Celia gets back, we can all have to get together and have dinner.
Oh, yeah. Is Iska here too?
Yes, she's inside.
Yeah, she did here because she was up by the band.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, because you jumped out the window from the top. They were
did.
all the way at the other end of the room when they snuck out. In a crowded room, yeah, she missed it. Well, I'm going to go and get some breakfast here in a little bit. Renat makes me eat all the time.
So
Which is
you should.
important.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't mess around with his eating training either.
Yeah, well, at least it's consistent, isn't it? Better than eating coins, isn't that right, friends? Don't eat coins. You don't want to eat coins. Please. don't
Why
eat
would
coins.
you?
Luna just
Why would
shakes
you
her
eat
head.
coins? Well, let me finish up with this next thing, and me and Luna can meet up with you inside. But grab a table. I'm sure Madeline will be out with a whole spread very soon. So Luck, Vidar, Axel, you all head in, or
Actually headed in earlier to
yeah.
probably just grab the table back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's filling up quick. If those seats would have gone pretty fast. As you get there, bacon is arriving. So, but
Vidar's going to order a couple of drinks as well for the
Okay.
table.
and so Gandry sort of heads over to the cooking pit and messes around with things and goes, "So, I've heard news. The
What
Tiefling
news?
ambassador was assassinated."
What?
That's what everyone's been saying. The few riders who've come through, they said that there was a big to-do at the up at the Solstice Ball. They talk about there was an attack, there was craziness. They said there was a dragon.
Ah, well, yes, there was a dragon.
Yeah, that was a dragon.
Wait. How do you heard the rumors too?
I've heard the rumors.
You sound more... He's going to do an insight check.
That's not a lie.
It's not
You've-
a lie.
It's not a lie, but you're clearly hiding something.
Heard the rumors just now.
Yeah. So,
Ooh, on a 21? You
Oh.
sound like you know more than just rumors.
I do.
Did you kill the tiefling ambassador? He gives
I
a...
did not. And that is a complicated matter.
I'm all trained and ready to join the fight.
So, Riley, when I talked to you before, I worked with the information I had. Since then, I have been through the Vice, on foot, and been to Falcon's Crest, and talked to many people, and experienced the past in a sense. This issue is complicated. I assigned blame to the Tieflings because that is who I knew, but it is more complicated than that. A fight will happen. I do not know. I do not know where all the sides lay.
Okay. Well, no matter what, I'm on your side.
I appreciate that.
Gandry.
Gandry?
Gandry.
Okay, because I keep wanting
I
to say Gendry. It's not it.
Yeah, Gandry.
Gendry.
It's not helping that I'm doing Riley voice either. So.
Whatever, we'll just roll with it. Gandry, I appreciate that, and I must say I am impressed with the progress you have.
I was practicing my voice on mute.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, like I am impressed with the practice you have made. There are certain figures I can say without a doubt need to be dealt with when the time comes, and she'll kind of talk about the she'll tell him about the void dragons whose name I can't remember right now. The
Scar-Tears?
Netherwings. There we go.
Netherwings. Yes, the Netherwings.
Netherwings and the whatever order. She's not going to call it the Arcanimist, but the robed figures she'll describe.
Okay.
They are not to be
Thieves.
trifled with. Those are most certainly our enemy.
Well, that's good to know. Have you met any other Genasi like us?
I have. And it is different in the... We are west now?
We are in the
So we were
west.
in the east there. Okay.
Yeah.
It's different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the east is more lenient in a sense, but there are still problems with the Temple of Purity, which I aim to rectify. And she'll sort of pull out her thing.
Medallion of St. Cuthbert.
Yes, that thing, to show him.
Wow. So, people around here are pretty okay, mainly because I think they like my barbecue. But some won't eat here because I do some of the cooking.
Then they're missing out on good food, and that's their problem. The people who simply dislike people like us on appearance, their opinions do not matter. I am concerned about the people turning us into items.
What?
And she will describe like that's Temple of Purity. Like this is not a thing she's gonna hide from. Like no,
Yeah.
you need to know what's wrong.
That's what they were going to do with me.
Yes. That's what they wanted to do to me.
I saw some of the posters. They were looking for you.
They tried very hard, and I am not so easy to kill.
There's lots of silver medallions around town, even more now. Be careful.
I will ensure that I do not fall to their machinations.
Well, I'd like to see them try. And we've got some friends here. The Unseen Shield is more active than ever, it seems.
That is good to know. And Gendry, I want to make sure you understand. When I say the fight will come, it will. Your primary objective is to make sure you defend yourself and the people close to you. Okay? Some are meant for attack and some are meant for defense. I have many years of training on you, but I want you to be ready.
If they come for Sky, I'll give it to them.
Works for me.
I want to hear all about all the other Genasi.
And she will, you know what? She'll describe the one she's encountered to him and kind of be doing rough sketches as she does it, because she hasn't actually done that yet.
Okay. Yeah, so you can describe, the children of Mim, and all those folks, and certainly Sithander, and then also the kids from East who you sent off with Stroth and Dustin. So, and the gang. Wow, so many.
Yes, it is good to see them.
So, you say Dustin and Stroth are coming back with Sithander?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, remember, Sithander's part of the prophecy.
Right, okay, got it.
Yeah, he's the heir part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet him if you all make it back. I'm assuming after you finish whatever you're doing. I mean, how much do you tell him? How much do you tell him as far as about the prophecy and the seed?
The whole thing.
Okay. So he will
not all about like the group's fate, but yeah, anything to do with Genasi, she tells him.
Okay. So I know you figured it out before, but you also might have forgotten. Do you tell him about him?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a part of this too?
From my understanding, yes.
I'll be ready.
Good. Hey, Andri, no matter what, I am proud of you. Okay?
You see him, big smile.
She will hug him.
He hugs back, and you can sort of feel that warmth, sort of that inner heat from inside of him. And as he pulls back, you see it's almost like a tear of blue fire, almost sort of like when you have like some sort of accelerant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It goes, you saved my life. I was ready to be done, but I've got a whole new chapter, I guess.
I am more than happy that I was able to help you. The others most certainly helped too. I cannot claim full credit. But remember, you pulled through. We helped, but you pulled through. Never discredit your own work.
Okay.
So, girlfriend, huh?
You see his face. His hair flares up. His face, even through the gray, it's almost like when you see like air hit on a fire. It's like the sort of dark scarification starts to glow, all but red hot, and he kind of turns away.
He can hear Lula just doing like the deep laugh.
She's pretty great.
I am glad you've both found happiness. I'll leave it be for now.
He just sort of smiles. He just just beams. You can tell he's thinking about Sky.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Crisis averted as far as she's concerned. Time to go get food. Oh, I forgot how mad she was at the Tieflings originally. Oh.
You saved yourself.
Yeah, that was right after she found out she couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was real mad.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it again. I was like, wow, I forgot what a number she put on him.
Oh, yeah, she did.
That well done on recovering that. That was a.
Yeah, if you would have said pretty much anything even a little bit different, I think there had been some roles involved there on the persuasion back out of it. You didn't quite radicalize him.
Oof.
Yeah,
That
good.
was-
Good.
Good job.
Okay, I gotta fix this. Gotta fix this now.
You saved it. We're fine. We haven't got a revolutionary.
Good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Gantry.
Listen, no, it's wrong to kill people based on their race. We just have to go kill these people based on their faith. It's fine.
Exactly. Killing people based on faith is fine.
We don't have a loose cannon. That's
We're
the
kidding, folks. We're kidding. It's not actual thing. Don't actually do
We
it.
Don't
Yeah.
do
We
that.
do not endorse
Don't do that.
opinions of our characters.
We do not.
We do
Our
not
characters
endorse
do not represent who we are.
We do not endorse murder hobo.
murder hoboing. So inside, you guys are sitting there at the table and looking around. Luna, I assume, rejoins you. And you see Agatha sort of greeting people as she comes as they come in, but also sort of going around table to table, doing her normal thing. Seems like she's collecting stories. And y'all can run me. Y'all have done these. Y'all are just nailing these perception checks, but let's try another set.
These will probably be terrible.
Hold on. Hold on. We've got this, guys. Believe.
No, I'm good.
Oh, I didn't believe hard enough.
That's
what
really
I
good bacon.
meant. Real good
Yep.
bacon.
2 really good bacons.
Maybe.
Fun fact is that Riley's not actually eating the bacon, presumably. He's just
Yeah,
getting fake
Riley,
bacon.
you can see, is sitting at the table looking very uncomfortable. And
And
he
everybody-
is getting quite a few stares. And then when Luna joins in, you can see there's even more stares. There are no other Genasi in here. There's certainly not another Runeborn in here.
There are stairs right now. Luna will kind of turn around on her bench, look them all in the eye, and basically be like, "Fucking what?
What now?
Do
What
me
you
an,
gonna do?"
do me an intimidation check.
Oh, she's actually.
Can Axel help with that? Because Axel's going to be clearing it.
Okay, yeah.
as
So you can
well.
give Luna advantage if you would like,
Yes. Okay.
or you can either roll one yourself or give an advantage to Luna.
He's
Make
not
a painting.
proficient,
It'll
so-
last longer.
But he's certainly glaring at people. Not
Oh.
particularly good at it, though.
Yeah. So, but still, yeah, a lot of these people are just sort of basic things. You guys, y'all are level 10 adventurers now. You all are far more impressive just by your gear, and your, seasoned adventurers are a known quantity around here. So most people do sort of turn away or back, mind their own business because they don't want to get in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty civil place in here, but I mean, it's still a tavern in a fantasy world.
Oh yeah, no, I completely understand it, which is why I made my point. Just like you want to knuckle up, let's go. Outside's right there.
Do me an insight check, Luna, if you will.
All right. Yeah, one of these was bound to be a dead.
Okay. Over at sort of at your end of the bar, let me move you all back over inside just so you all can see. Make it life a little bit easier. Doo-doo-doo.
Me, 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 me.
Golly, all these old tokens that are on here. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I should like just delete these off. But anyway, just so you've got the layout of the room. Golly, you know what this is? It's Children of the Children. Good night. I pulled this in like right before the session because I forgot that we were going to use it. But anyway, old luck. Oh, I deleted grain. Anyway. No! So you guys are down here.
It was foretold all along.
You know, sort of at this table where you've off made it. Up here at the other end of the bar, sort of up in this area. You see Luna, an older human. He is well into his cups up at the end of the bar. You can top of his head is bald. And of course my music stopped again. I need to have this so it just automatically plays whenever I move. You see like sort of around the sides of his head are beginning to go salt and pepper gray. The thing that sort of stands out to you, he wears this sort of poorly dyed set of brown robes. You can just, your tailor's eye a bit notices that these brown robes are, you know, whatever dye was used on them is basically running off the shoulders, you know, so it's basically the original color is starting to show through underneath, but the rest of the robes, you know, again, almost looks like it would be tie-dyed because it's been so poorly thing, or whatever fabric originally it was did not take the dye very well. You can tell that it was a fairly nice base fabric that was there. What did you have on your perception?
I went 12 on my insight.
No, but
My
on your
perception was
perception, 20. And you can tell that this garment's been like heavily modified from whatever it originally was. But it just sort of stands out in your mind because of sort of your tailor's eyes. Even on the 20, you can sort of see one foot is hanging out around the side of the bar, and you can sort of see he's wearing very simple sandals. His feet are sort of dirty and covered in sort of road grime, but been drinking heavily. Doesn't look up or even give you much attention. Like I said, it's just the clothes stand out to you.
She's curious.
There's something familiar. There's on a 12. There's something familiar, but you can't quite put your finger on
She'll
it.
kind of slowly approach.
So you sort of go over there. You can see that Sky is working this table behind, so you can sort of almost have an excuse to sort of be heading that way.
Mm-hmm. Oops.
Whoops. I'll get people to the right
Sorry,
spots. No
camera
worries.
spazzed out.
Hiccup. No worries. And as you get a little bit closer, you sort of like are approaching Sky as you can see Madeline is sort of coming back and forth. So you kind of don't want to disturb her, but you've got this sort of walking over to say hello.
Like, hi.
Yeah, and give a look at this. You can sort of see he sort of has this sort of empty look and very sunken eyes, sort of deep circles of fatigue and sleeplessness around them. You can notice sort of these hands of like a craftsman, for sure, around this mug of ale of the bar in front of him. There are loose sleeves of the robe that sort of cover up his arms, but they're sort of loose and flowing.
Man. Oh, nothing is clicking for me.
You can try a different let's see, do we want to do... I'm trying to think another roll that would work here. You've done an insight. I don't want you having just re-rolling the same thing. You're a little bit closer now. If you wanted to do an investigation, I know that that's probably not one of your great ones.
No, but it's something different.
I'll give you an advantage because this is a tailor's things as well.
My team.
As you get closer, you realize what was familiar about it. This garment has been heavily modified. The piping has been taken off of around the edges and around the ends of the sleeves and around the hem. And the brown dye is covering up what would have been a gray robe of the Temple of Purity.
Well, but it's taken. So this was the Temple, but the things have been taken off.
Yeah, all of the piping. Their robes are usually gray with this silver piping around it.
Mm-hmm.
All of that silver piping's been done. The gray has been, again, this really nice fabric has been poorly dyed back to a sort of try to cover up the gray with a sort of cheap brown dye that is not taken very well to the fabric or was not done very well.
Okay, I think so. Now she'll head more directly towards him and not touching him, kind of just say it from a reasonable distance, like next to him, but not completely in his space. Having a crisis of faith, are we?
He sort of looks into his beard. Not anymore.
So you've just. I can't say I have a problem with you no longer being of the Temple of Purity. I just wonder why.
He this is the first time he's looked up and sort of sees you. Kind of They've lost their way.
And she's gonna actually sort of peek out of him down just enough. So as they Cuthbert, she's just like, I agree with that. Observation.
So you pull out your Medal of St.
Yep.
Cuthbert. Do me a persuasion check. No, I'm just flat out persuasion check.
I was gonna say, can I spend my advantage?
Oh, you can. No, you can spend. You can spend.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can spend on it. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But you don't have automatic advantage on this.
No, I will. So I will spend my
The
advantage.
big thing is you don't have disadvantage.
16.
On a 16, he looks at you. Ooh, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
You're wearing your new outfit where your scars
Yes.
are visible, yes?
Yes. Oh, I think I know where this is going.
He uses his foot to push the stool out next to him.
He'll sit.
And as he does, he pushes back one of his sleeves, and you see identical. Not truly identical, but similar scars that would have been made from a penance switch that, as you know, is a tenet of some of the more zealot members of St. Cuthbert.
Mm-hmm. It seems your penance has been paid.
No, there's much more. My penance will last a long time. The Temple of Purity. He sort of grunts.
How long have you followed St. Cuthbert?
Many decades before my order succumbed temple. I succumbed right along with them.
What changed your mind?
Oh, many things along the way, but it's easy to just keep quiet. Think. You'll work things from the inside. You'll make them better. You won't let things go too far. But 3 months ago, there was a sign.
Question was 3 months ago. Were the posters up for looking for Luna, or is that something? Or is this
About right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, about that time, yeah, your posters would have been starting to adorn the area.
A sign?
Roll me another persuasion check.
I don't have an advantage left.
Leaving you.
15. Aha.
Okay. My monastery was attacked, and the temple's symbol over our door was shattered. Showing Cuthbert's sign breaking through.
Luna's eyes will mildly widen very quickly and then back to normal. I suppose that's as good a sign as any.
I knew before then what was happening was wrong. I was following my work. An architect, you see. But long before I came back to my monastery of the Redeemed Heart, I worked for the temple. I helped them build their cathedral in the south. And then the things they asked me to do there, I knew then this was not the work of St. Cuthbert, not the way to find his common sense.
I am glad you found your way back to his sense. You're right in that your penance is not paid, but you have taken the correct step.
Well, you'll see. Cuthbert's penance takes many forms. I have a feeling he's not done with me yet.
Probably not. But until we pass on, he's never truly done with us.
True words. Is anyone's debt ever fully paid?
No, but we can try our best. May I ask what your name is?
You can call me Anthony.
And
I don't consider myself a brother anymore.
that was the one who made the doors, wasn't it? Okay, thought so. Anthony. It is Nice to meet you now.
He looks at you. He's a little drunk, so he looks at you. No recognition in his eyes, or putting two and two together. Be careful out there. The temple has plenty of power still left. The loss of one humble craftsman will not stop them on their mission.
No. But the wrath of a disrespected god is a thing to be wary of.
Oh. They think they've got all the plans to deal with that.
Everyone has a plan till they don't.
That makes sense. He sort of gives you a smile.
Well, yes. You'd be surprised how many plans go awry after a punch to the face.
I can imagine. He sort of looks you up and down. See, you've fought your way.
They certainly didn't make it easy for me. But yes.
Well, my fighting days are over. Now, it's time for drinking. He pulls back into the ale in front of him.
Oh, okay. I know what I was going to say. Just like, enjoy your drink, Anthony. You will always have a place in his billet.
I'm not sure that's true. But if enough penance can perhaps find a small, humble corner for me in his grace.
She'll nod. Again, touching that. She's tucked her medallion back away, touching there again, and then go back to the table.
He continues to drink.
Yep.
Iska has picked up her violin and is playing with the band at this point. Just ditties from High Mount. Rest of you all?
Sitting at the table, the busier it gets, knock a couple glasses back with Luck if he's up for another hearty drinking game, and I think I'd wave over Agatha.
You see Agatha sort of flitting around, and she comes and sits down on the table. She looks around your plates and you waved me all the way over here and not even a slice of cheese for old Agatha.
Oh, I've learned cheese doesn't really respond well with this body.
Doesn't respond well with my body either. Doesn't stop me though.
I mean, coins don't work either, but apparently, hey, who knew? You mentioned before that you could tell I wasn't made of magic anymore. How could you tell that?
She looks at the couple other people who are at the end of the table, not recognizing them. She does something that the three of you all are familiar with, Luna, Luck, and Axel. You see this weird sort of light emit from her, and it's almost as though the rest of the bar is underwater. No one seems to notice that anything has been cast or that anything has happened. And she goes,
Oh, this is Nate.
well, dear, you're not even really of this sphere, so when you were just a bumbling Eladrin,
Thank you for not ratting me out.
well,
Yeah, dearly.
and luck, dear, what a change you've gone through. Find yourself with an elven banshee.
Nice fellow once you get to know him.
Well, can't say that I disapprove of the changes. She sort of gives you a wink. And you, dear, she looks at Axel. Do you even realize what you've done?
Probably not. There's a
What's happened? May I ask,
Well,
well,
are you...
the Bastions are back, so there's that.
just throw that out flippantly as though that's nothing, dear. Really?
If I was the one who did this, we were all there involved. Have you talked? I don't. Have you met Stross? She might have come through before. Kobold.
Probably not. Kobolds
No.
would not have been very welcome in Sojourn's Crossing.
No, but I mean that they
But
might have tried.
She raises up an eyebrow at you and she goes, just flippantly throw out the bastions. You're very smart and very clever, but you still have much to learn, dear. You see,
But
with the return of the last bastion, you've done more than just awaken a glyph scale. You see, when the glyph scales are awakened, the rune drakes are able to come back into their power as well. She reaches out out her wings, and they can cover with runes.
Yeah. That explains much.
And that is where we're going to end the session today.
Bum bum bum.
You're pretty
Oh
old.
man, you're gonna ruin our fun.
It's
we
like, yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually.
We'll be
Absolutely
fine.
perfect sense. It's like, yeah.
Anyway,
Where's my,
so
where's my cat, Jay? Where's my cat been this whole
I
time?
don't know. You tell me what you did with your cat.
I lost in the woods.
Last you saw the cat was sleeping on top of the big pile of sails with Thomas, who always would pet the cat.
Oh no. Lost it. Oh good.
But let's go around real quick and say hello to our cast and where we can find them. We'll start with Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden. You, of course, may find me here every week playing. Every week that we're here. But we're back playing Hidden by Axel, the Tabaxi Wizard, who is also Dad. And also, yes, lots of expectations. Fun. Oh, and, like, last of his family sort of thing. Also, all these good things that are waiting for us, and we've got the Temple Purity. So, but I am very glad to be back with the Vice. I have missed this. Haven't missed getting up this early, but I have missed this, so it's worth it.
Awesome. Next up, we have NNG9.
Hey, I'm Energy 9, and I'm going to do a rapid fire on palindromes and puns. Palindrome the first, senile felines. Palindrome the second, face decaf. First pun, how do blue jays stay fit?
Oh.
They do warm-ups.
Uh,
Warm-ups.
Worm-ups. Got it. Sorry, took me a second.
Yep, no problem. What's an astronaut's favorite part on a computer?
what?
The space bar.
I should have seen that one coming. Should have
You
seen
roll
it
me
coming.
at Energy98 on Twitter and Energy9 on Twitch.
Good Guy Pie, save us from these puns.
I cannot save you. We have all been forsaken. It is the end of the world as we know it. Kalafana Fadka Afana Kafola Fatagan. Sorry. You can find me at Good Guy Pie on Twitch, where I stream mainly Lobotomy Corporation right now because apparently that's what the audience demands. And on Twitter at Too Good To Guy, where I tweet fit some things and stuff, and and always here with your, remember, sacrifice your goats to the dice gods.
Always. Dragons or cats?
Hello everyone, I am Dragons and Cats. You can catch me on the Twitters and on the Twitches as Dragons and Cats, where I do a Monday night D&D game and a Wednesday night D&D game, and I am so happy to be back in the pants of our favorite bad uncle influencer, Vidar. This was a great session. I saw there and very
Such bad uncle. That's just totally who Vidar is.
There's a reason that Axel is now supervising these lessons. Not just to see what his son can do.
I had contingencies. I've got shield. I've got blur. Those plans.
Anyway, I'm Tall Squall. I'm going to attempt to. I don't know. I still have yet to kill Vidar. He just keeps making his way out of my clutches.
He will survive. He will survive.
Yeah, right.
The story wants me to live.
Yep. Anyway,
I'm just gonna keep on poking till I die.
You all can catch us on Saturdays. We will be back next Saturday, but then we're going to be gone for Gen Con. So we have one more episode till we're gone, but in the fall, we should be back on a sort of more regular schedule as this story moves forward. And who knows, more things about the Temple of Purity. There's a few little interesting nuggets left behind for a lot of our players throughout this whole thing. So catch up with us, and until next time, gather your friends together and tell a story, because that's what it's all about. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Ooh.
Christmas.